Welcome. In this video, we will see how to write a C program for DDA line algorithm. The full form of DDA is Digital Differential Analyzer Algorithm. So for this, we will open Turbo C, create a new file, include header file in our program, include stdio.h, hash include con.io.h, hash include graphics.h. Whenever we are drawing graphical objects like line, circle or pixel, we must include graphics.h header file in our program. Otherwise, it will give you error. Then we will also include math.h header file in our program because in this algorithm we have to perform some mathematical calculations or we have to use some mathematical functions. So for that math.h header file should be compulsorily included in our program. Then our main function, inside the main function we will declare integer variable gd is equal to detect and gm. Gd means graphics driver and the value of gd is set to detect. And GM means graphic mode. GD means it will automatically detect which graphics driver we should use, and GM means graphics mode. Then we will take some variables of float data type, float x comma y. X comma y are the x and y coordinate of starting point that we require in this algorithm. Then we will take the variable x1, y1 and x2, y2. x1, y1 and x2, y2 are the coordinates of endpoints of a line. Then we will also require variable delta x comma delta y. Then we will also require variable x increment and variable y increment and variable steps. We have taken the data type of coordinate x1, y1, x2, y2 as float because DDA algorithm calculates the coordinates in decimal points. It will not give us the coordinate in whole integer or whole numbers. That's why we have taken the data type of these variables x1, y1, x2, y2 as float. So this is one disadvantage of DD algorithm because it gives us the values in decimal points, not in whole integers. Then we will also take one variable I, which is a loop variable. Now we will take the values of x1, y1 and x2, y2 from user. So for that we will display one message on screen. Enter the coordinates of x1. So enter the coordinates of endpoints of line. With the help of scanf function, we will store the value entered by user into the variables %f, address of x1, address of y1, address of x2 and address of y2. Then we will write init graph function and pass parameter address of gd variable, address of gm variable and location of BGI file. Why we are writing init graph function? Init graph function is required because whenever we are drawing graphical objects, then our computer system must be in graphic mode. Otherwise, we cannot draw these graphical objects. So that's why init graph function is compulsorily you should write in your program. And the syntax of init graph function is init graph, then pass parameter address of GD, then address of GM, and then location of BGI file. What is BGI file? BGI is a graphic driver file and it is stored in which folder? It is stored in C drive. Inside C drive there is a turbo C3 folder and in turbo C3 folder there is a .bgi file. So here you will require to pass the location or address of BGI file. Then we will calculate the value of delta x. Delta x is calculated as delta x is equal to x2 minus x1 and delta y is calculated as y2 minus y1. We have to take absolute value of delta x, so that's why we will use mathematical function absolute and in bracket write x2 minus x1 and delta y as absolute of y2 minus y. Why we are taking absolute? Absolute function will always give us a positive value. Even if x2 minus x1 is negative, but absolute function will always give us it will return us positive value. So that's why we are use here absolute function. Then next, if value of delta x is greater than value of delta y, then steps value will be set as delta x. Else, if value of delta x is not greater than value of delta y, then we will take the value of steps as delta y. Now what is this steps variable? Steps variable means how many points or how many pixels we should calculate. It is not possible that we can calculate infinite number of pixels or points. So we require some finite number of points. So whatever will be the value of steps, that much points we will calculate in our program. Then next we will calculate the value of x increment. X increment is calculated as x2 minus x1 divided by value of steps, and y increment value is calculated as y2 minus y1 divided by steps. Then we have taken the starting x and y coordinate. Let us set the value of this coordinate. X we will set to x1 and y we will set to y1. Then we will use while loop because we cannot calculate infinite point. So that's why we will take while loop and we will calculate only that much points till the value of I is less than steps. Now we will draw the pixel using put pixel function, pass x and y coordinate of pixel and the color constant value. Suppose I want to draw the pixel in red color, then pass red constant value. Then calculate the value of next x and y coordinate as x is equal to x plus x increment and y is equal to y plus y increment, and increase the value of loop variable by 1. Otherwise your loop variable will run for infinite number of times. Now DDA algorithm gives us values of coordinates in decimal points or float values, but we cannot draw float values. We require integer value for pixels. So that's why we will use one round function. This round function will convert these decimal values into whole numbers or integer values, and then we can draw it in our screen. After that, write getCH function. GetCH function will hold your screen till you give some input. And finally, close graph function. Close graph function will again return your computer system from graphical mode to text mode or normal mode. So it is always compulsory to write close graph function at the end of your program, and then close this program main function. Save this file, give some name. Suppose I will give name p11.c. Okay. Compile the program. No error. Run this program. Some error are there. So open this file. So even if we don't use this round function, C language will automatically convert these float values into the integer values. So again save this file, compile this program, success. So enter the coordinates of endpoints of line. Suppose the coordinates are 100, 120 and 280 and 290. So here you can see a red line is drawn on the screen. So this is how we use DDA line algorithm for drawing a line. So if you like more such videos, or if you want to learn more such programming videos, then subscribe the channel. Thank you.